Okay, I'm sorry. This is point number one. This is my line. This is not my line number one. This is my line number one. This is my line number two. Two, three, four. Oh, okay, I'm sorry for that. There seemed to be some error in my recording device. All right, continuing. So I was just marking these because I wanted to explain to you all flow of execution really well. 5 and 6. So let's say when I run this program, it will read the number one line. It always starts from top to bottom, but it will see it's a function definition. So it will note that there is a function called fun, but it will not go inside it. It will go next. Then I have s equals to I love world. It will save this data in the variable s, okay, and it will write I love world or whatever. Then I'm saying function, call the function fun. So now my flow of control will go here. It will go inside, and there is a new variable which is made inside the fun block, which says I love India, which is also in S. It will print S. It will come back, and then when it comes back, it will go to the next line, print S. Now the S over here will be this. It will not be this. Okay, clear? Now let's look at the second option, which is global variable program. In this, again, I'm defining a function fun, but I'm using the global keyword over here to create a variable s. Then I'm saying print s. That means if there is no data, it's going to print none. Then I'm saying S equals to I love India, and then I'm saying print S. Now, let's go out. When I go out, I change the value of S to I love world and I'm calling fun. Now, when fun is called, it goes here. A global S is created and I'm printing S. That time, what do I print? When I say, whenever my global S is created, it's the same S. So my S is I love world, and when I'm printing S, I love world will be printed. Then I'm changing the value of S to I love India, and I am printing S over here, and so you will see I love India over here. This is this line. And finally, when I come back to the program, once my this indentation will stop, it's going to come back. There's nothing to do here. Goes to the next line. Print S, it will go and print S again. Clear? Okay. Now, variables scope in function. Define fun x comma y. Find out the output of the below program. So over here I have a global variable a. Fun is taking two parameters x and y. Inside the variable, inside the function, my a becomes 10, x y becomes y is x. That means I'm swapping them. Then I have two b's. It will take the second value. It will ignore the first value because it's overwritten. C becomes 30. And I'm printing A, which is 10, B, which is 30, X and Y. So the value of X will be printed in another manner. Now, I'm making four variables here, A, B, X, Y, with the values 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm calling fun. Now, when I'm calling fun, my 50 and 100 are passed in X and Y. Now remember, this X and Y has local scope over here, and this X and Y has global scope. Now I'm passing value 50 and 100 in parameter X and Y of function fun. It will go inside global A, so A becomes 10. From 1, it will become 10. X comma Y equals to Y comma X. That means where X was 50, now X became 100, and Y was 100, Y became 50. B was 2. This B will remain 2 here, and I will get another B with 30 here and another C with 30 here. Now I'm saying print A, B, X, Y. Now, remember, when I called this define function, I called it over here. I have not saved anything. That means when I printed ABXY over here, my A was 10, my B was 30, my X was 100, and my Y was 50. So the output here was 10, 30, 100, 50. Now, 10, 30, 100 and 50. Now, they've added one more line, this one, print ABXY. Same, when we printed inside ABXY, X and Y were 50 and 100, which was passed to that parameter and taken. But when I'm printing outside, that time my value of A will remain same, so it will become 10 again, uh, which is a global variable. B will change to 2, X will change to 3, and Y will change to 4. So the value should be 10, 2, 3, 4, which is over here. Okay. So in case you didn't understand, pause, go through again, listen to my explanation 2 to 3 times, and then come back to me. Okay. Now, variables scope in the function. So define fun 1, x equals to 100, define fun 2. Inside a function, I'm defining another function which also has a global variable x, and now x became 200. Now print before calling function 2 plus string, print calling function 2 now, fun 2, print after calling function 2, fun 1, print x in main. Now when This program execution will start from year fun one, so it will go year x equals to 100, and then this is just made. All right. So now print, first thing that we see on the screen will be before calling function 2 plus string, and uh, x becomes 100. So right now the value of x would be 100. Then I'm saying print calling function 2 now. So only and only that would be printed. Now I'm calling function 2. So now the value of x has become 200. After calling function 2 plus string x, so after calling function 2 plus string in the brackets x is 200. Why so? Because this is still in the local scope over here. It is still printing this x, because although global x is different than the local x. Now when we came out and we said x in main plus string x, over there it is printing 200, but inside it will only refer to this x and not this x. For them, this is local and this is global. Okay. Variable scope in function, non-local variable. Okay. So non-local, if I'm saying non-local, that means it is not a local variable. Now what is happening in this? So I'm saying x equals 200, define function 2, x is equal to 200, print before calling function 2, calling function 2 now after calling function. So the before calling function 2, x is 100, after calling function 2, x becomes 200, and x in main is 50 because it is going to use this x, which is a global variable. Now, what are function parameters or arguments? These are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis. Multiple parameters are separated by comma. We have an example where there is a function with two parameters x and y, and whenever the function is called, we have to pass two values. If we pass more than 2, it will give us an error. If we pass less than 2, it will give us an error. If we don't pass any, we will still get an error. So we pass two values which are used inside the function to sum up the values and store them in Z. And then we are returning the result Z. Okay. Now, function prototype is a declaration of the function with name, argument, and return type. That is this. A formal parameter that is a parameter is in the function definition. And an actual parameter that is an argument is in the function call. Okay. Now, function arguments. Functions can be used in many types of formal arguments. Number one is required arguments. Required arguments means how many ever parameters you give to that function, that many arguments are required and they have to be in the correct positional order. Second one is keyword arguments. In keyword arguments, the caller identifies the arguments by giving the parameter name. So if you're going to change the order of passing the arguments to the function, then you must specify the name of the parameter, and this has to be same as the one that you used while naming the function. Then there is default arguments. Default arguments means it assumes, that means you give a default value with your argument when you make it, so that the program knows that I have to use these values in case the function call doesn't have that value. So for example, let's say some sort of a tax we have to deduct, or some sort of a discount you are going to give, which is going to be staple for every. So you don't need to really mention the discount. The minute you will put in your product, automatically 5% will be done. In this kind of a scenario, we use the default arguments where something is fixed from first. Variable length arguments means you can pass multiple values with a single argument name. Now let's look at the required argument. This is the normal one we are doing. I have written x, that means it needs one argument, and I'm passing 1. So in the above function square, we have to definitely need to pass some value to the argument x. That means this is going to give me an error because we need to give at least one and there's nothing mentioned here. This is keyword argument where I have name and age when I made the function, but when I'm calling the function, I'm mentioning age equals to 15 and name equals to Mohak because I have interchanged the position. Default argument over here, I have mentioned x is 3 and y is 4. This works when I am not specifying, like r equals to sum over here. I haven't specified any values. In this case, it will by default take x as 3 and y is 4. But here where I have mentioned x, it will take x as 4 and y as 4. I have mentioned y, so it will take x as 3 but y as 45. This is variable length argument. That means over here I have written variable tuple. That means we are expecting a tuple here and we don't know how many we are expecting. We've just written a star. That means it's a variable and it can change. Okay, and then over here I have passed a tuple. So it will take 70, 60, 50. And over here for var and var tuple, that means variable will become 70, then 60, then 40. Okay. So in the above function, sum can sum the n number of values. Lambda functions we don't have. It is a function, it is a small anonymous function which can take any number of arguments, but it can have only one expression. That means everything will happen in one line. Okay, lambda a, x equals to lambda a comma b colon a into b. That means you are going to put the value, x is the name of my function, you're going to get a comma b, you're going to get two values and you're going to return a into b. That means when I say print x, x is a lambda function, 5 and 6 is my a and b, and 5 into 6, so my output is 30. Mutable and immutable properties of data objects which are in the function. Now, everything in Python is an object, and every object in Python can be either mutable or immutable. Now, because everything in Python is an object, every variable holds an object instance. When an object is initiated, it is assigned a unique object ID. Its type is defined at runtime, and once it is set, it cannot be changed. However, its state can be changed if it is mutable. It means that a mutable object can be changed after it is created, and an immutable object cannot be changed. Mutable objects are list, dictionary, set, byte, array. Immutable objects are integer, float, complex, string, tuple, frozen set, and bytes. Okay, so how objects are passed to function? You can either pass them by reference or you can pass them by value. Let's look at the two examples over here. Now, this is the name of my function, update list. Inside this, I have I'm taking the list one, I'm checking the ID, so I'm seeing which memory location it is in. Okay, and then I am adding plus 10. And then I'm printing a memory location. Now, n equals to 50 comma 60, print the ID of n, update list with n, and then you're printing n and you're printing the ID of n. So the first print, that is this, is here. After making the change, I did another one. Okay, after changing the value inside the list, I checked it, it's still the same. I came out and I've made another one, n, and I'm updating the n and I'm checking the value and it's still the same. This means that when you pass by reference, the memory address does not change and the changes are made. Now, when I pass by value, that means Instead of giving reference, I'm giving value. In this, I'm saying b equals to 5, print the memory location of 5. So this will be printed here. I'm saying update the number b. So when I say update number b, this goes here. This b becomes n, and n will go here. Okay, we are going to print the data type of n, the memory location, and then we change it, and then when we print it, we can see that there is a difference. What is the difference? The difference is here. Can you see? This was before the change was made, and this was after the change was made. The memory location differs. If you look here, even when before the change was made, even when after the change was made, the memory location is the same. So this is the difference between pass by reference and pass by value. So in pass by reference, the contents change because it is mutable, and that's why it is behaving like pass by reference. But in pass by value, the data type is immutable, and so it does not change the memory location. Okay. Arrays. Arrays are very popular in programming languages, especially in Java, C++, JavaScript. But in Python, they are not that common. When people talk about Python arrays, more often than not, they are talking about Python list. So basically, Python arrays are Python list. Array of numeric values are supported in Python by the array module. List is a mutable data type. That's why it is treated as pass by reference. Okay. Now, functions using library. I've already done this, so I'm not going to repeat it. It's already done. I explained to you all math. Okay, these are other math modules that we have. Function using library, string functions have been done. We have done these functions. Okay, these are string methods, all done. So this is all done. So I'm not going to do this again with you all children. With this, I'm ending this class. This is okay if you don't know this concept. It's not a part of your grade 12. That's absolutely fine. Okay, with this, I'm going to stop this class here. Go do a quick revision. So up till chapter 3, we've completed everything. Practical books need to be updated by the end of this May vacation. Chapter 3 needs to be done. Okay, start thinking of your project ideas. We will discuss it in the first week of June, July, whenever we start. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.